Hey YouTube, thanks for stopping by my channel, The Magical Solution. My name is Leilani. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope you continue to do so. Today's topic is one that's near and dear to me. It's rice magic, for sure. Rice magic is one of the most common ways in which I love to do magic. So this video obviously is going to be from my perspective and how I use rice magic. So I'm going to be speaking specifically about long grain white rice, all right, mainly because it's the most easily accessible rice for people to get a hold of, and it's also traditionally used in magic. So let's get to it, right? So let's just, kind of briefly talk about rice in general, right? So culinarily, rice has been used all over the world. All over the world. I really don't know of a culture who doesn't use rice in their food. And if you do know of one, please let me know, because I don't. I genuinely looked it up and I tried to figure it out and I couldn't find anything. So right off the bat, it's a very universal grain, right? And culinarily as well, it is such a great absorber of flavor. You know what I mean? Like you can put sauces on it, you can put gravies on it, you can add it to your soups, you can keep it on the side and just munch on it while you're having the rest of your food. Like it just goes well with everything. So so when you're holding on to that aspect of it culinarily, kind of store that in the back of your mind. And then you can think about it cosmetically, right? Cosmetically, people love to use rice water and rice vinegars and milks to help their hair, right? To help their hair grow, to give it shine, to take baths in it because it's wonderful for the skin. It gives the skin a glow. Let's see what else cosmetically. I think that's about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, I think that's about it. Yeah. So the properties of rice are, like I said, very absorbent. It takes on whatever properties it needs to take on at the time. So whatever you're giving it, whatever you're imbuing that rice to do, it's doing, right? However, rice in and of itself, by itself, it's white. It's got a mild flavor of its own. It's healing. It helps with digestion. It helps to bind the stomach a little bit when you have loose stool. It's very healing. It makes you feel good. It's comfort food is what you would want to call it, right? So when you think about all of those things, now you say to yourself, okay, how do I use this magically, right? Obviously, if you're in any traditions, you're going to use it the way the traditions use it as well. But just from an eclectic standpoint, there are so many ways you can use rice. Okay, so let me tell you some of the ways that I do it. Okay, so I wrote all of them down because I had to think about it for a minute. I'm like, wow, I use rice a lot. Like, how do I go about doing this, right? So one of the ways that's really, really common, you'll actually see it a lot in Facebook groups, and people are writing a ton about it now in books, is using dried rice as like imbuing it, the dried rice, right? So you'll see things like money rice, love rice, protection rice, all these different kinds of rices, right? And that's a really, really easy thing. Maybe I'll do a video on it someday, but there's tons and tons of YouTube videos on how to make money rice, and you can see it. It's so easy. But that's one of the ways to use dry rice, is to first imbue it with all the liquids that you need to imbue it, any essential oils, any alcohols, food colorings, anything that you want to put into it. You put it into it first, you allow it to dry, and then you add the dried herbs and curios and all these fun things to it to then give it that extra oomph, right? So it's really taking on whatever it is you're giving it to do. That's the purpose of dried rice, right? My favorite kind of use for rice is to create rice water. All right, and it's super, super easy to do. So to create rice water, all you need is a clear or a white or a blue bowl. You're going to add your white rice to it, and then you're going to fill that bowl up with cool water, and then you're going to cover it up with a white or a blue cloth, okay? And you're going to let that sit for a minimum of 30 minutes. All right, now before you do any of that, rinse off the rice. Make sure you get out all the impurities first so that you're dealing with clean, pure white rice. Once the 30 minutes have passed, you strain out the rice and you add some kind of an alcohol to it, a clear alcohol specifically, like Everclear would be a good one. This will help to preserve your white rice water so that it doesn't become fermented and then eventually rancid. So you're adding that alcohol to it, and bam, now you have rice water. Now rice water, I love to use it for cleansings. It's amazing for cleansings, and you start at the head with the rice water. I like to add rue to my rice water, and I like to add rose water to my rice water and create a nice cleansing bath. Sometimes I'll put some fresh mint in there to give it a little mintiness to it, a little freshness to it, some lemon water. So that's one way. Another thing that you can use with rice is called rice vinegar. And rice vinegar is basically the same steps as rice water, except instead of letting it sit for 30 minutes, you're going to let the water and the rice sit together for a full 24 hours. All right? You're going to check on it, though. Make sure you check on it, because what you want to look for is, well, first you're going to see the water turns really, really cloudy. So that's a good sign. But then you're also going to smell like a funky little aroma coming from the water, and that's a good sign too. That means your water is now fermented, and you can strain it out and you can add white vinegar to it, and bam, you've got yourself some rice vinegar. Now with this, with both the rice water and the rice vinegar, there's a shelf life. All right, with the rice water, if you don't add alcohol to it, you only have like a couple hours to use that. If you add the alcohol to it, it'll stay for a minute, okay? But the rice vinegar, whether you're adding the white vinegar to it or not, it's not gonna stay very long. You have to add a preservative to it, and you have to keep it in your refrigerator, and you have to shake it every once in a while, okay? But again, even with that, you're talking about just a few days, all right? So with those two things, make sure that when you're making them, you're going to be using them pretty soon. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And for the rice vinegar, the best usage for that, from what I found with it, is to use it as a preservative for my workings. So I have to do this so my cigar doesn't go out. So a preservative, as in, like, you know, let's say you want to do a love working on someone, right? You can preserve the bond. You can work the bond and keep it going for a very long period of time with rice vinegar. Now, a lot of people say to me, Leilani, why are you using rice vinegar in like love workings or stuff that means that you want to keep it for a long time? Like, it's a vinegar. Aren't you supposed to use it in like sour jars and to like hex people and stuff like that? No. So here's the reason why, okay? Just because something is vinegary doesn't necessarily associate it with something bad. Fermentation and vinegar is actually extremely good for the digestive system. It helps to get rid of bad bacteria and helps good bacteria to flourish. And rice vinegar in particular, it's about the rice. It's not about the vinegar. The vinegar is the preservative aspect of it. It's the part of it that gives it the property to be able to preserve. The rice itself, though, again, like we talked about, it's white, it's pure, it's healing, it's blessing, it's good. It's good. So when you're putting those things and you're creating a rice vinegar, what you're creating is a preservative for good. all right? And you're not adding anything else. That's why you're using white vinegar in particular. You're using white vinegar with the white rice water that's fermented. Okay, so that's the difference. If you were to add that, and don't get me wrong, you can still add it to a sour jar, or you could still work it in a baneful way, but you're doing it from the perspective of, I want this baneful working to last for a long period of time. That's the purpose of rice vinegar. It's not to sour someone, it's to make something last. All right? So just to clear that up, because I know a lot of people were confused the last time I spoke about this. Then another way in which you can use rice, unfortunately I can't make this product, I have to purchase it, I'm not that good yet, is rice milk. Rice milk, I personally don't like to drink it, it's not my thing, and I don't like almond milk. I can do the coconut milk, but yeah, the rice milk, not so much my thing. But it is absolutely phenomenal to add to your blessing baths. So, like, let's say you make yourself a nice healing poppet, which I'm actually going to be teaching a class on this next week. When you do a healing poppet, one of the things that you should do to activate this poppet is you need to bless it. Okay, so you have to cleanse it up with some cleansing materials, and then you have to bless it. All right, and I really enjoy blessing it with rice milk and cleansing it with rice water. Now, again, milk is one of those things that can go stale. It's not a great smell. It's not fun to work with. Any kind of milk, really. So, you know, when you're blessing objects, make sure that these objects are not absorbable objects, like they're not like made out of cloth, and they don't have cotton in it and stuff. You know, plastics, glasses, things like that makes sense. Or just add it to your blessing bath, which is the way I like to do it personally. I do rice milk, coconut milk, and goat's milk. Those are the three that I really love to put in my blessing baths. Okay, and then last but not least, cooked rice. Just plain old cooked rice. And that, my dearies, you can use for absolutely anything, because like we discussed before in the culinary segment of this video, is that rice absorbs. It absorbs the flavors of whatever. So the ingredients in which you put the ingredients that you add to the water that you're cooking the rice in is what will determine what your rice will be used for. So if you're doing, like, you know, a lot of you love to come to me for like baneful stuff. I don't know why people got such grudges on everyone, but okay. So like if you're, you know, using a lot of hot, spicy, peppery stuff, and your nose is running, your eyes are running and everything as you're working it, then that cooked rice might be good to then add to your jar and allow it to rot and get all gross and yucky, but it's really spicy as well, and that could be a nice little ingredient. However, I like to use cooked rice specifically as offerings for my spirits and for my ancestors, and that's it. I don't like to use cooked rice in my working, mainly because it goes bad. It goes bad. So, and I don't like anything to spoil in my working. I like my working to always be fresh. So for me, cooked rice is offerings only. But that shouldn't stop you. You know, you can add whatever you want to a cooked rice. So let me just kind of look at my notes, make sure I didn't forget anything. Nope, everything looks good. So that's pretty much me and how I use rice. If you have any questions about rice magic and different ways you can go about using it, or if you have some, you want some advice on how you're using it currently, by all means, inbox me, let me know. If you want to make a response video of how you use rice, if you want to leave a comment, please. I love to learn and see what you guys are up to. Otherwise, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Please share, and I will see you guys very, very soon. I'm going to be doing a couple more videos, like, right after this one. just to give you some stuff to hold on to, okay? But I hope this was a very helpful discussion for you, and who knows, maybe in the future I will do a video where I actually show you how to make the rice vinegars and the rice waters and all that stuff. But it's so easy. I mean, hopefully verbally was good enough. It's so easy to make. All right, so have fun, utilize it in your Magick, see what it does, see what difference it makes for you. And specifically for the rice water cleansing, do that as frequently as you need to, okay? Just like my cleansing video, my cleansing bath video, you do it as frequently as you need to. If you've got some stuff going on in your life, maybe every other day, maybe once a week, whatever, do it as often as you need to. The rice water is a beautiful thing. What I like to do is I keep it in a little spray bottle. So I have the rice water with the fresh roux water and the rose water and my homemade Florida water, and I put it all in a bottle and I shake it up and I spray it on myself quite often throughout the day, because I deal with so many people. Like, my jobs are very social. I'm a teacher and I'm an activist and I'm in the community and I'm just dealing with people all the time, and people are yucky. People got a lot of baggage that they don't realize that they have and they're holding on to, and being as sensitive as I am, I take all that in. I really do. I'm like a magnet. So constantly spraying myself with that stuff. So yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for sticking with me again, and like, subscribe, share, comment. You know what to do. The Magickal Solution really appreciates you. And please go check my Facebook, because I've got a monthly giveaway that I would love for you to partake in. Okay? See you soon.